And we are back. G Mac and Winnie coming at you in another edition of the Outlaw Blitz podcast. Big fella, let's get dangerous.
Drive. That's all you got to do to get dangerous today.
Yeah.
It's not nice out.
Well, they're calling for tornado warnings up here, too. I watched that this morning at 5 a.m. on the New York news. So
Jesus. Yeah, it's come down to sheets. And to make it worse, with my AC not working in the car.
The windows are fogging.
Oh, horrible. Horrible. Heavy breather, fucking super fog. Can't crack the window because rain just pours in. Yeah, this shit sucks, man.
Hey, is our light on by any chance?
It will be.
It will be.
Watch me. Mother of God.
Yeah. Here we go. Our It Smells Freshies Fresh Take. Winnie forgot to do his job again this morning.
The lights were flickering in the hallway. I don't know if that was...
No, and I heard... Did you hear the little skip in the song?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the case of storming or Winnie's got to go to the ER because his fucking ear thing came
because you're stroking out?
Yeah, pretty much.
It Smells Freshies Fresh Take is... It's just about that time to wrap up summer.
Yeah.
It's getting that feel like we've had some days this week where the humidity broke and it got cooler overnight and it kind of starting to get that fall air type of vibe.
I'm done with the heat, man.
Even the color outside is starting to get that grayish fall look instead of the vibrant. You know what I mean? Instead of the vibrant summer bright sky.
Listen, soon you'll see the leaves.
Oh yeah,
starting to turn. It's not. We're not that far away now.
No,
but I'm done with the heat. I mean, I'm ready.
Yeah, I mean, in our case, if we live to be 70, we only got like 20 more summers. So I'm not trying to rush them away, but
yep.
The thing is you got to capitalize on your summers. We both kind of did. I mean, you had a little bit less fortune than I did, but your summer's running a little longer because you have a lot of stuff planned in September.
Right
up to the last actual day of summer, which is like September 22nd, right? Or 21st.
Yeah, I come back on 24th. 20th to the 24th. So I booked my airfare this week. And my father just texted me this morning. He secured the Virginia Cavaliers at Coastal tickets.
That's going to be a blowout.
Today.
Virginia's going to smoke the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Probably. Well, maybe not. Maybe not.
No, probably.
Who did bring in place of McCall?
They had a couple kids on the roster. I don't think they didn't go out and do anything. Ethan Lasco, I think his name is, or Vasco.
Well, Donnie DeSico's cousin's the kicker.
Right, who's in NCAA.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so our It Smells Freshies Fresh Take is I've been mistaken for since I've been back, I have this Milky Way from England for Winnie to try. This is the size of their candy bars over there.
I was going to ask you if that was the snack size or the full size.
No, these are the size of their candy bars over there. Every store I've gone to, this is a candy bar because they don't do junk food. And our Milky Ways are definitely not blue.
No, the label is completely different.
Let's see what they got there. And then the second thing is we're going to try the Hubba Bubba Chunky and Bubbly Original. Boston and I tried gum last year, and it was fucking awful. So hopefully this is a little better.
Look at the other half.
No.
Okay.
Well, not on the show, no. And if you like it, eat the other half. Is it similar to ours?
Just a Milky Way.
Yeah. Similar. There's probably... We don't use high fructose corn syrup in that.
Right.
But in this, we may.
Good. Different size, but...
In this, we may. Listen, this is... So look, if you can see this on the camera...
What in the gods? Why isn't it?
Why is it not pink?
Right.
Oh, God, I'm going to...
Go ahead.
No, you're trying one, too.
I got chocolate in my mouth now. Ew. That was good.
Kind of has the taste of Hubba Bubba.
It says bubbly and crunchy. I want to know why the fuck it's crunchy if it's gum.
Maybe they use crunchy instead of chewy?
It's just a weird... You're making a terrible face here.
It has a Hubba Bubba flavor to it, but also has some kind of weird, filmy...
I don't chew gum just because of my partial.
Oh. Not doing that today.
Um,
I'll give that a
I'm not really chewing
3
it.
out of 10.
Kind of just getting the flavor.
It's
Very
similar.
clay-like.
Yeah, it's similar to our Hubba Bubba loosely. Like when you say like a 3 out of 10 compared to our gum.
The flavor, I'll give a 7. The texture and the mouthfeel, I'll give a fucking
Weird,
1.
right?
Yeah.
Like you're chewing Play-Doh or something.
It's very, doughish. It's weird.
Yeah.
Ugh.
All right. So it smells
what, they
fresh.
don't
Fresh
use
take is
fuck
English
gum.
snack foods.
Yeah. Howard, they don't do. What about like chips and stuff? Do they have like Doritos?
Well, they have chips. Very hard to find pretzels. Doritos, not much. Coca-Cola everywhere. It was rare to see Pepsi. I don't
Wait
know
a
why.
minute. No pretzels?
Yeah, only on the American base that I find pretzels.
Really?
Any of the other little stores around, I didn't see any pretzels.
Wow. Do they have like 7-Eleven or
No,
chains?
they have like these little markets.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they have, gas stations and stuff, but I didn't really see pretzels.
Huh.
And, yeah, I mean, other than that, like their Sour Patch Kids, they have a black one called Black Currant.
Yeah, you would show me that.
Yeah, so it's completely different. Like their Sour Patch Kids aren't even, like a lemon head here is way more sour than their Sour Patch Kids.
That's weird.
But we use worse shit in our food too. So
yeah,
but I didn't expect pink bubble gum to be clear.
Right. What is the shit we use? It's the acid. Not citric acid, but it's something along those lines that give it that
folic
sourness.
acid.
No, that's for your face and your skin. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh well.
Yeah.
The fresh take is
fuck this.
American gum is better.
It is. Very much.
What made you decide on this week's top 5?
Watching YouTube, and something else. What else? There was something big in the news. Oh, Aroldis Chapman. Did you see the at bat with him and Machado?
Yes, I did, and we'll get to it. We'll get to it in our top 5. This week's top 5, the top 5 showboats in sports history.
Yep.
Now, I had a criteria that I did, and I haven't spoken to you, so I don't know how you ran yours. Now, clearly, and these people may be on your list, like say a Muhammad Ali, if he's on your list or whatever, right? I didn't put him on because when you're that good, that's part of the shtick.
Right, but I think it's you've earned that.
You've earned it, right?
I didn't put any shitbag showboats on my list.
I did because they're the ones you like to watch get smoked.
Like Bosworth, didn't put him on my list.
No, but he wasn't good enough, really. Like in college, he was
right,
but I didn't think of it that way. I didn't do any honorable mentions. I just wanted to say, like,
right.
Ali was probably one of the greatest talkers of all time. You know what I mean? And he was a showman. I get it, but he was so great, I left him alone.
Yeah, no, I left. They had to be the total package to make the list.
Oh, so you went the high end. I went kind of like the asshole.
So this is
I went the asshole end. Okay.
All right, cool.
So my number 5, Prince Nassim Hamed.
Fucking asshole.
Dick.
I couldn't stand him.
He was a complete dick, but he was an awesome boxer. But he did things that were so weird, like his entrances to the ring were wild because you never knew what he was coming with.
Right.
But then he did an uppercut jab. Like it was the wildest shit. What are you doing? Yeah, you know what I mean? And he was a couple-time world champion, and he just vanished. There was like no fall off.
Right.
He just disappeared one day.
Yeah.
But in the 80s or late 80s, early 90s, whatever it was there, he was probably one of the best showmen, and you watch him get knocked out, hopefully. But he had the wildest punch combinations and the weirdest shit that you just never saw.
Right.
And at the time, people weren't coming out fully head dressed and this and that. And he would come out and make it like a show, his entrance to the ring, and then do like a somersault in the ring once he got in the ring.
Right.
And it's like, dude, you're going to fight. What happens if you put your hand down and you break your wrist or some shit?
Yep.
But that was Prince Nassim Hamed.
All right. Number 5, Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. The original. His fucking home runs. He didn't pimp the run, but if he knew it was a no-doubter, he'd boom and throw the bat instantly, which was my favorite part because he would sling that motherfucker along the ground and just watch it. Yeah. And he was interviews. I'm the straw that stirs the drink. He was never shy about estimating his abilities. his time with the Yankees caused a lot of shit, but they won titles too. So
Yeah, a fist fight in a coach and
yeah, fight the manager.
right in the dugout.
Yeah, fights in the locker room. Him and Munson went at it. Yeah, I think the original pimper of the bat flip era to start it.
Yep.
So
my number 4, A-Rod, and this is and exactly why. A-Rod was at the time considered one of the greatest players of the era. But when he was on Texas, he'd hit a home run when it was 8-0. Yeah, he never hit meaningful home runs for like a almost a half a decade or a decade period of time. Like when he was a young player on the Mariners, he played, very high level. Then he goes to Texas for all that money, $250 million back then.
Yeah, which was huge.
And he, all right, it's 8-0. I challenge you with a fastball, you hit a home run. So what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he did some really cheap shit, like yelling, "I got it" to people. And, he was always a look at me player. Like, hey, look, I went and got my own coffee, Skip. And they're like, you dickhead, you're missing the point.
Right.
Like he was, like that kind of a showboat, a hard hit ball to him and he'd kind of like fucking and throw it over. It just you were, yes, you were great, but you were kind of a dick and you kind of were like Bush League.
Yeah, at times. Absolutely.
At times. Dumb shit.
Much more likable now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know why? He got humbled.
He's more mature.
Yep.
My number 4, known by 2 names, but we'll go with Chad Ochocinco.
That's my number 3, so we might as well
okay.
attack it. Go ahead.
Ocho. I mean, the end zone, the creativity in the end zone celebrations. Not to mention he had to go out and be a kicker. His interviews again. He to this day he's still.
So Hall of Fame jacket. He proposed to a cheerleader, and he did all that stuff, and you're not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He changed his name because he wanted to be 8'5", which he's an idiot. 85 isn't Ochocinco,
right.
But 8'5" is.
Right.
Changes his name, all that. He was big. He was almost impossible to cover for a while. But he put himself on a lot higher level mentally than he ever was.
Yeah, no, he did.
He thought he was Jerry Rice, T.O., Michael Irvin. He never was any of them guys. They're Hall of Famers. He'll never get in.
Yeah, he's a step below. He's like Keyshawn.
He's like a B.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
A high-end number 2.
Yeah, a game changer for a period of time, but he thought he was much better than he
didn't have longevity that those other guys did.
Nope.
So that was your 3?
Yep.
My 3, always spoke about himself in the third person, Mr. Ricky Henderson.
He's my number 1.
Okay.
So we can just talk about it now. It doesn't matter. Everything about that guy was an asshole. From the glove flip to talking about himself in the third person to not adhering to the signs that the coaches gave him, just went when he went.
Yeah.
Ricky fast, Ricky steal third. And how many times did kids try to do the flip?
Ricky was
and
moving
you
miles
drop the ball.
before moving miles.
Yeah, and overall, Hall of Famer, outrageously gifted athlete.
Number 1 in runs scored, stolen bases, one of the greatest ever.
What a dick!
He was.
And that's why he's my number 1. I'm surprised he's that low for you, but you went on a different scale.
I loved his pimping of home runs, though.
Yeah,
he would fucking round first base. He was almost
backwards
in the dugout when he would round the bag. Yeah. It was like, holy shit. How he was never called out for being out of the baseline, I don't know.
Or he turned and almost like run sideways.
Yeah, and then he popped the shirt collar.
Yeah.
And he had his whole stick.
And how he never wore one.
The slap the glove shit, that was annoying.
Yeah.
To watch. Because like you said, how many kids tried it and dropped the fucking fly ball?
And how many he's done it before.
Yeah.
I've seen him try to do that and it ends up behind him.
Right.
Just asshole.
Yep.
My number 2 was Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't know why his showboating doesn't stick in my mind.
All right, so Deshaun Jackson has the unique attribute of, in the high school All-American game, in college, and in the NFL, dropping the ball before he crossed the goal line at the 1-yard line.
I do remember him doing that in the NFL. I didn't realize he did it
in all 3 levels. And it was like he was that guy that pimped everything. Another guy that was a game changer, and apparently the fucking cleaning lady didn't listen to what I said last week.
He had game changing speed.
He was a game changer,
Right.
but another Chad Ochocinco, he's never quite on that level.
No, he wasn't the route runner. Didn't have the hands
Right.
of the elite guys.
He was a great punt returner. He was like
Right.
an end around guy. He was
Yeah.
a change of direction guy. But, you know, like you drop the ball at the 1 yard line, how many times? High school, college, and in the pros. I mean, come on, dude. There's no one near you. Step across the line and hand the ball to the ref or whatever.
Do whatever the fuck you want.
If I'm a coach, but that's the type of shit that drives you nuts.
Right.
Because how many touchdowns does it cost you because you're an idiot?
Right.
You know, so that's
apparently one at each level.
Yeah, one at each level. So my list is done. Now it's you. 2 and 1.
Number 2, Neon Deion Sanders.
Another guy I didn't put on my list because he could back it up.
Right.
He was the originator of the hand behind the head, the whole dance in the end zone,
the high kicks,
the high stepping from the 30 while he's going, talking to the other team.
Too legit to quit.
Yeah, he was every bit of that. And but again, I didn't do it because if you're great, oh well.
And could talk. And now, as a coach, you still see flashes of Deion.
Yeah.
But now it's Coach Prime.
Yeah, and
you got the sunglasses still.
Yeah.
The bravado still comes through.
Problem is,
but he's matured a lot too.
No. But the problem is, you're not a team full of A-listers, 5 stars. You're a C team. You know what I mean? You're like you're a 3-star team. So for you to talk shit like that when people route you,
right? You
deserve it because
But listen, he does get a lot. He gets the most out of his players.
Yeah, and he's brought a lot of attention to
for him.
Colorado.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, no, it's tough now when you're not all 5 stars.
Why are you yelling at me, bro? You're aggressive into that mic today.
Sorry.
I like that you're awake, but we're good.
My number 1. He's known by many names. The Louisville Lip, the King of Sting, Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable showman.
Yeah, the best.
Yeah, even the foot shuffle. You know, I was going to put Roy Jones on my list, but I didn't because Roy Jones was very similar. Yeah. And then crack you with the left. Yeah.
Talking shit through an entire fight.
Yeah.
Dog and Foreman.
And just taking punches until he gassed him and then beat him up.
Yep.
Yeah, unbelievable. He's the king of shit talk.
The only one to silence his talking was it Norton broke his jaw? Or Frazier broke his jaw? I think Norton broke his jaw. And he still won.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody you left off? So I left Barry Bonds off the list because he was such a douchebag.
Yeah.
But he was great.
Right.
Shaquille O'Neal was very, like a showboat with the running down the court, hanging on the rim. But he was great.
Yeah.
Kobe was very much that guy.
Yeah, one that was close to making my list was Pistol Pete Maravich.
Yeah.
He was the original behind the back pass with legs, fancy dribble, white chocolate, Jason Williams, honorable mention, and Conor McGregor. Yeah,
McGregor too. Great talker, but it's hard to be a showman in the UFC.
Right.
Now, Bobby Green, King Green, he's that guy that fights he'll stand sideways. He says, and then my favorite thing is when he gets kicked in the face and knocked out. You know what I mean? So we went at it 2 different ways. Yeah. You went at it the greatest, that. Oh, we're also showmen. I went at it kind of showboats that were just dicks.
Yeah.
You know, so it was cool.
Both levels,
but
entertaining nonetheless. So.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's move along. All right, 5 crazy questions this week brought to you by Jacinda's Magical Enchanted Vacations. Really? Not only does she do Disney and Universal, but she can book you a cruise, she can book you a sandals resort. Reach out to her on Facebook at Jacinda's Magical Enchanted Vacations.
Wow. All right, number 1. Is suffering an important part of being human?
Yes. It's a very important part because when things go sideways, if you've never dealt with adversity or suffered in a loss or a setback, you don't know how to be a human, and a lot of people off themselves after shit like that,
or drink
or whatever. I think the people that learn how to work through the suffering and come out on the other side are more, I don't know, more not advanced, but
They're
I
better
think I think
for
I
it.
think it, I think it yes, I think it just makes you a more well-rounded person
Okay.
if you've dealt with suffering, and it's definitely dragged you. Big part of being human.
Yeah. Okay. Number 2. Given the ripple effect of our actions across time and space, how can we ever be sure that we're doing the right thing?
Well, you can't. I think the right thing is always the wrong thing. 5 years ago could make. So are you just constantly on the wrong path?
You don't know.
You don't know. So you know what I mean. I think you just have to try to do it the right thing in the current moment.
Right. It's tough to try to, long scale things and say, what is this going to.
Well, it's like the butterfly effect, right?
Right.
If you
What
go
is.
back and you change something, how do you know it doesn't make it worse?
Right. And you see it highlighted. I mean, movies try to highlight that a lot. See that a lot in Hollywood. But yeah, in real life, listen, something that may be great for you today may be terrible for you a year from now, and
Exact
the
opposite.
reverse of that could be the same.
Yeah.
So
Something that you thought, hey, I shouldn't do that, and come to find out you should have. You know
yes,
that this not doing this or whatever or doing the right thing is the worst possible thing. I don't know, whatever you didn't take somebody down, they end up being a terrorist or some shit.
right.
Just something.
Number 3, would you rather have to swim everywhere you go or bear crawl?
I mean, I don't think either are easy.
No, I'll rather, at least you can float.
Yeah, I would imagine swim. But if you're swimming, you must be living in like the island somewhere, or
Yeah.
Venice or something. There's a place I just saw it too. People, maybe in like Switzerland or somewhere, where they work, they just get in the river and they float home.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, they literally like that's how they get home.
At the end of the day,
Yeah, they don't get into traffic. They just jump in the river and they float down to their house and then. Boop.
get back out.
Yeah, that's
kinda
pretty
cool.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah, bear crawling at this stage of our lives, I don't think it's
Dude,
good.
your shoulders and your hips would just be
Done.
Yeah, gone.
Toast.
Yep.
Number 4. Imagine you could either have the power to manipulate probabilities or control the elements. Which would you rather be able to do?
Well, I think that's dependent upon what you are in your life. If it's just me right now, probabilities.
Right.
Because you could always swing things your way, and like you could gamble it. You could, hey, this is we got an 80% chance of landing the right stock right now, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Or
So today,
picking the right card.
right? Probabilities today. You know what I
Right.
mean? If I was a general in the army or something, weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can just dictate what's. Can you imagine like a fucking tornado comes through and rips
Right.
through people, and then you just come in and mop them up?
Or the opposite too. Like you could train your guys to fight like in today's garbage
Monsoon
we have
out
going
there?
outside, and then take that advantage
Right.
over a group who's never had to go through that type of shit. So yeah, it could go either way. But yeah, man, probabilities would be pretty cool.
Yeah. Especially today.
Hell yeah. And number 5. Imagine you could either have the power to heal any physical ailment instantly or have the ability to heal emotional wounds and trauma. Which would you choose?
I think any wound, because it could help people. Like emotional trauma, you're going to work through it, but you're still going to be alive.
Yeah.
You could take a wound that's going to kill you, and if you can heal them, keep them alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's as a father. You know what I mean? For myself, it'd probably be. I don't know, man. I think pain and I think like pain and stuff like that are part of the emotions you need to keep human.
Yeah.
If you're always just happy, what the fuck? It's like I don't know how that would operate.
I'm gonna liken it to something that I hear with pro wrestling all the time. If everybody's a giant, then nobody's a giant.
Right?
If everybody's happy, then nobody's happy.
Then what are we doing?
Because it's really like emotional.
Well, it's like
flatness. It's the same.
Yeah, what was that? The Stepford Wives or something? One of
Yeah.
them, where the whole town was just the same, just
Yeah.
going about their business, no emotion, no up, no down,
Yeah.
no crying, no happy, no. Yeah, I just
Listen, believe I'm sure everybody would love that occasional day in their life because no bullshit's going to occur.
right.
But yeah, overall, what's the
Yeah, I think
what's the living there? There
the
is none.
physical, physically,
Right.
because then you could take it away.
Right. I mean, the extremes are if like you had a child that had
Extreme
severe
depression
emotional
or something.
something
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you could wish and go in and make it go away.
Right.
But the likelihood of a broken arm or a fucking mortal wound or a car accident,
Right.
all that shit that you could just go boop and they're
Yeah.
better.
Right. Because here you fix them emotionally, and then they get hit by a bus.
Yeah, right.
And you're like,
can't fix that one.
can't fix that.
Yeah.
True. So,
all right, there's your 5 crazy.
Nice. We're cruising along. This week's video brought to you by Moranti Plumbing and Oil Service, Shokan, New York. 901-4194. Call Josh if you need any plumbing issues handled. He will waive a service fee for you if you mention the Outlaw Blitz and seeing this on our podcast. And as always,
oh, dude, I saw him this week. I got a big hug from him, and he smells fantastic.
Yeah. So he'll clean your pipes and smell good doing it.
He will. If your pipes stink, he is your air freshener.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. All right. Let's move along to the next segment. Over and Under, sponsored by the Law Office of Brian Duran, 339-4313. If you're in a spot of trouble and you got to claim bankruptcy, call Brian, and he will give you $100 off if you mention the Outlaw Blitz podcast.
Nice. Number 1, prevalent in our lives this week, I guess, class reunions.
Underrated to a degree, right? We had a lot of people die in our class before the 10-year reunion.
Right.
A lot. Like, if we graduated 225, I think 10 or so died before we even got to 10 years.
Right.
And then you get to 20, and by 20, some more died, and now we're at 30, and even a few more did. So, it's one of those things, especially if you live in an area that people don't stay in their area. We live in Saugerties area. Most people kind of hung right around where we live.
Yeah.
But, if you're in like a bigger city area or something like that, people tend to move away.
Disperse.
Right. So I think they're underrated, and I think they're good for just that. No matter how old you get, there's still part of you that's young.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think social media has lessened their attendance, I guess.
Probably,
because a lot of people do keep
a lot
contact.
do, but a lot don't.
Right.
Like there's a lot of us Gen Xers that are like, fuck that stuff. I'm not doing that stuff.
I know it's funny. I don't know. I was voted class friendliest, but I have no interest in going. I think part of it really is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's weird. Either way, my father's they just had their 50th, and they had a blast.
Yeah,
it was a full weekend, Friday through Sunday.
Right, and I think the older you get, the more it matters.
Right.
Because 40th we'll be retired by.
Yeah.
And those ones we should definitely go to, because who knows? You might be in Myrtle and I might be in Tennessee. So
there you go. Number 2, New York style bagels.
Underrated.
Yeah.
No matter where else you go, they're just not the same. They don't have the thickness. They don't have the flavor.
The water.
Yeah, the water. They're thin. They're stiff. They're not, and we're very fortunate here. We got some really good bagels in the local area.
Yeah, we do.
Like Sunrise, Locks, Village Bagel. There's some really good bagels around.
Remember Mr. Bagel when we were kids?
I do remember Mr. Bagel.
Do you remember what happened? Like 24 hours later, you could fucking break 2-ply glass with those things.
Oh, yeah, they were hockey pucks.
Super hockey pucks.
Yeah.
Natty and fresh.
Yep.
Number 3, Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's, was it me and you that had it somewhere? Or was it me and somebody? I don't know. I've only had it one time, and it was cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just another version of, Subway or Jimmy John's or any of them. It's just another version of that. But Cool. Jersey Mike's.
Higher quality. The big thing they use there is that like that pepper relish or jardiniere type stuff,
Yeah.
which differentiates them. The first time I had it was coming back from a doctor's appointment, and I saw one in like a little plaza just outside of Albany. I'm like, what the hell is this doing up here? I was like, oh man, this is
Yeah, I think I saw that one
pretty
on the
good.
way to my RC racing.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like right there.
Yep. Jimmy John's. I'll add that now. Underrated, or I'm sorry, overrated. Overrated.
Yeah, I went in. I'm like, oh yeah, it looks great. Like
Right.
the layout, you think it's going to be quick. Blah blah blah. Sandwich was kind of tiny. Not a lot of meat on it.
Not a lot
It
of
was kinda
anything
like,
on it. They didn't have like a plethora of shit to choose from. We had it once in Florida on our honeymoon, and it was like, that's Brock Lesnar's big sponsor. That shit sucks.
I had it. Well, yeah, and like Kevin Harvick and all them guys
Yeah.
in NASCAR. I had it in Ann Arbor, Michigan, and same thing.
Not-
Little cool when you went in, like the design of it looked
very
pretty
clean,
cool.
very laid out well, but
modern. And then I was like, oh, this is the sandwich. I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah. For your $14 or whatever.
I'd rather go to any deli locally. And get
hell yeah! Nothing beats an actual
true deli
sandwich.
Like Terry's has amazing subs down in Kingston.
Brine Barrel.
Yeah,
right
Brine Barrel has really good ones too. Yep.
Number 4, Netflix.
I'm gonna say overrated.
Yeah, I am too, bro.
Like, I don't know why.
For as much content as they allegedly have,
I'll scroll all night
and to watch.
Yeah, there's too many options.
Now, people have told me that if you use a VPN, and you log in and you can choose your region, then like if you choose somewhere in Europe, the selection is going to be way different, and not necessarily all like subtitled movies, but they just have more shit. I think whatever we get is some real scaled down version of garbage.
Or is it anymore everything we do has an algorithm and they just keep showing you the stuff they think you want to see?
Right.
And you're not getting stuff that you may actually be interested in.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's good for the Cobra Kais of the world when you're waiting for a season something to come out. And then once you binge watch that, you're like, yeah, there's nothing else here.
Yeah, I know. So if there's not a show on there that I really want to see, like I want to see Axel Foley and all that.
Right.
So,
that's good.
Right. So I have it. But like right now, I'm like, do I need to spend $25 a month on this? I don't really need to.
I'm only
at least when I do the Disney, ESPN, Hulu thing.
You get 3.
I'm getting
for the price
3.
of 1.
Right, and ESPN's, you're getting some games.
Yeah.
You're getting, you know what I mean. So there's
to
some
be
advantage.
honest, if I didn't get a free Netflix account through T-Mobile,
well, I should cancel mine and get the free one. But does it have ads?
It does, but it's not intrusive. It's not bad.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't pay for. That's the whole
is
thing.
the ad before the movie?
Yeah, like I was watching. I've never had an ad pop up in the middle of anything.
Okay, so it's before the movie.
Yeah.
Like a minute or two,
and then you roll in. Like Cobra Kai, I watched the whole season and didn't see one ad.
Okay,
so it's not bad.
That's the reason I didn't have it. I'm like, I don't want to watch. Like Prime's done that to me now.
Prime's brutal at times.
I'm like, when the fuck did we start getting ads on Prime?
Right,
that's what you're paying
and
for Prime.
And it's the same ads
all the time.
I remember watching. Remember when I came out of the hospital around New Year? Or no, I'm sorry, around Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and I was watching that Friday. It was Black Friday, the Jets-Dolphins game. I must have seen the same commercial over that 3.5 hours, no less than 20 times.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Yep.
Number 5, NFL training camp coverage.
I mean, it's overrated because it doesn't matter.
Right.
And anymore, like the way they're playing the preseason games, they don't, the starters don't even start.
Dude, it's over. I think oversaturation of it makes it overrated.
And it lessens, like, listen, Sunday football, the reason football's so great is it's once a week.
Right.
But let's not forget, NASCAR was huge in the 90s, and oversaturation killed them.
Absolutely did.
Killed them. Because I don't need to know what they're doing Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I didn't know.
Don't care.
Didn't need to care.
Just want to watch the race.
Right. If there's... Remember before it became an all-day affair?
Yeah.
Like, you'd watch NFL... What was the one on Sunday mornings before kickoff? Maybe like Berman and Jackson.
Yeah, NFL kickoff.
And they would just touch on the games, and it'd be from 10 to 12 or whatever, and then that was it.
Right.
And you would get, and then it would go to the to the stadium, and they would touch on like a little quick thing. hey, these are the keys. These guys didn't like each other. Last time he had 2 interceptions. He had no catches.
That's
You'd
it.
start the game.
Yep.
Now the game's been digested 800 different ways, and you're like, By the time it gets to the game, where's the storyline?
And 80% of the time, the shit doesn't play out the way they talk about.
No, and it's just sports coverage is overrated now.
Very oversaturated. That's where social media has beaten shit to death.
Well, I don't know how your boys, you're a little older, but like my son and his friends don't even watch the games. They get the cut-ups on their phone within seconds.
I'm that way with wrestling now. I haven't watched the Raw or SmackDown in probably a year or better.
Right. You get the cut-up of what happened.
Oh, let's see what happened in that 3-minute segment and move on. Even SummerSlam.
Right.
I tuned in. It was weird. They must have had like a fucking 2-hour pre-show because I tuned in and it said it was already running for 2.5 hours. And I'm like, what?
And it was like a lid lifter.
Yeah, it was the Rhea Ripley match, which was the opener.
Oh yeah. That's exactly when I tuned in.
Right, and I'm like, what in the hell? What have they shown already?
Right.
But it was 2 hours of nonsense.
And I turned it off and I watched something else. And then on my phone, not long later, I see, Dom betrayed Rhea Ripley. And I'm like, okay. I watched a little quick highlight and I'm done.
Wrestling, like a big pay-per-view now, starts at 5 with the pre-show coverage till 7.
Overrated.
Ends at 11:30, and then the fucking pay-per-view scrum is an hour and a half. So wrestling is now like an 8-hour investment for a pay-per-view.
Dumb. And Raws used to be 2 hours.
Yeah.
And pay-per-views used to be maybe 3.
And when it was 2 hours, it kept you wanting to get to next week.
Wanting more.
Now I don't care.
Now it's too long. I think you may see when they go to Netflix, go back to 2 hours. Because Hunter's always been like, 3 hours is long, but once you got it, it's hard to get rid of it.
Yeah. Once they
I almost think it would have been smarter if they put like NXT, the first hour of Raw, 8 to 9. Because then if you're good enough and you get enough of a following, then you get bumped to the main card, which is 9 to 11.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like something.
Yeah, I don't
like
disagree.
Tiers to a degree. You know what I mean?
Listen, I listen to Vince Russo weekly on a podcast, and is he annoying? 100%. But a lot of his points are valid. Like, it's just oversaturation of the product. There's so much out there.
And that goes for anything, football, baseball.
Right.
Why do you think baseball, people don't follow it like they did? There's 162 games.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where that's why football has your attention, because it's once a week.
That's why, like, YouTube, the things that I follow maintain my attention because, excuse me, they put out videos once a week, Saturday or Sunday. I'll get my Trevor Bauer, my Momentum Eric Sim.
Right. Well, don't go into them. We got
whatever. No, I'm not. I left them off this week because they're my weeklies. But I want to see next Saturday because it's going to be content I've been waiting for. If they were putting out half-hour videos every day,
you'd be like, I don't need to see this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%. And that's why I like college football, because college football doesn't have like every night college football.
Right.
You know what I mean? Saturday morning, you got college game day. They go to different things. And there's so many games that they can't like focus on one for 100 times. You know, when you get to the playoffs, that's different.
Right. But I like throwing on the ESPN 2 Thursday night, 10 o'clock, UNLV at Hawaii or some shit.
Yeah.
Just because it's schools
2 teams you would never see.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
but that's what makes the college game better for me.
Yeah.
Because it's not oversaturation.
No, I agree. I get it. And my bonus, fresh mozzarella.
I could take it or leave it.
Yeah?
Honestly, it's overrated. I mean, you got the Mott's, remember that? That was applesauce. But remember the original sticks, the Polio string cheeses, weren't they fresh mozzarella?
Yeah.
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 Cool. But overrated for me. Their cheese just isn't my thing.
Gotcha.
But what are you like the string cheese or you?
I like the fresh mozzarella you can buy in the store. It comes with the little logs that you slice up. It just has a different
Sometimes
consistency.
it's pre-sliced.
Yeah. Different consistency, different, much milder taste, not processed. I think that's the big thing.
Do you put that in your lasagna?
Honestly, no, because it doesn't melt the same.
You ever see when people slice it and they put it like on top of it?
Yeah, that's different for like the presentation, but it doesn't melt the same inside.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So,
all right, cool. Where do I gotta go now? Where are we going, Winnie?
The Hole of Rabbits.
I like that tune.
It was cool. It's catchy.
The rabbit hole. What videos dragged you down the TikTok, YouTube, Reels hole this week?
Okay. I'll start us off. Nonstop was the YouTube screen name, and the title of the thing was Michael. How bad was Michael Jordan at baseball?
Okay.
It was like a 15-minute video, and the glaring thing that came out of it, yeah, he hit 202, but he hadn't played in 15 years. Terry Francona was his manager at Birmingham. He was Double A. Out of anybody in Double A, there were only 8 players that had at least 50 stolen bases, 50 RBIs. I'm sorry, 30 stolen bases, 50 RBIs, and 50 runs scored. And he was one of them.
Yeah.
So, that just, yeah.
Well, you always wear a hat. So.
Yeah, his metrics were, again, you had a guy at age 30 turning 31, trying to play a sport at an elite level. It just showed, it was like when Tebow went to baseball too. Elite athletes can do crazy things. Most of these guys think that if he had indeed played professional baseball at a younger age, or he had a couple more seasons, because the strike is what drove him out and back to the NBA.
Right.
They think, yes, would have been a short major league career, 2 or 3 years, yeah, but they think
same thing with Tebow. If he didn't break his hand,
right,
he was going to get called up.
Right.
Because he hit a home run in the All-Star game?
Yeah.
The Double-A All-Star game?
And he was he made it an All-Star in his second year.
Right.
So, it just showed that he wasn't as bad as people thought. People were trying to take Michael Jordan from basketball and equate him to make him Michael Jordan, the baseball player, and it was never going to be the same.
No, listen, and elite athletes are elite athletes.
Correct.
So to not play for 15 years and then hit pitching that was,
right,
minor league, but professional pitching, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
They said the big thing was there, by that point, kids playing at that level had taken, over the course of their lifetime, they figured about 750,000 pitches. He hadn't taken any.
Right.
So.
Yeah. So he's behind.
Yeah.
One of my first things, and I watched tons of it, is the Olympics coverage.
Yeah.
Our track guys and girls kick some fucking ass.
This was part of why I chose the showboat thing too. The kid who won the 100 was super fucking cocky to the point where, man, I almost wish Jamaica beat him.
Yeah, you know what though?
It was a photo finish.
What I do, here's where I disagree. What I like about him is he goes, they're world champs. You're world champs? No, you're the NBA champs. You're not the world champions.
Right.
Because people are, and I think his point was, you're looking up to these NBA players. They play in a league, which is in our country. I'm going against the rest of the world, and the Olympic athletes don't get nearly, the rub that the pro athletes. So they said the whole basketball team turned out like to kind of see him not win because he didn't win the quarterfinal or the semifinal,
right?
And then he wins the final. But then he had almost a bigger feat yesterday. He got COVID between when he won when he raced yesterday. And he got second in the 200 yesterday with COVID.
Damn, I'll give him that.
Did you see the 1500 meter with the little white guy with the hair bun?
No.
The man bun? So this dude's not even supposed to be he's not even supposed to be in it, like closely in it. He's in the final, but he's not supposed to be in the top pack.
Right.
And he kind of hung around the top pack and hung around the top pack and hung around the top pack. And he looked like he was 5'8", and they all looked like they were 6'1" or 6'2". And coming down the stretch, he just outlegged them and wins fucking gold.
That stride length is big.
Yeah.
You would think, and that's why they say the 6'1" guys would have the advantage, but
and he outlegs them. And then then there was another one where a female bicyclist, and I don't know if there's different levels to it, distance wise, was left off the team. She didn't qualify, but then the girl that did qualify ends up getting injured or something and can't go.
Right.
She goes. She's in fourth with another person, and they're kind of riding. Well, they catch the top two. They catch the top two with like, I don't know, a little bit of ways to go.
Right.
And she just is like, fuck it. She pulls out and just just starts hoofing.
Huh.
And the top three like start to go, and then they all kind of look at each other and are like, well, she's not going to be able to hold that pace. No shit, she held the pace and ends up winning a gold medal. Didn't even belong in the Olympics.
Damn, that's awesome.
Didn't originally qualify. So you know what I mean? Like, there's those stories.
The shit that we were watching the balance beam. Balance beam. Everybody was slipping.
Yep.
Like right up to Simone Biles slipped and fell.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if like
was that shit greased up? I mean,
or they didn't have the right kind of talc on there.
At one point, they said maybe they should check to see if it's level.
Because it could be all.
It was like three in a row. Just we're up, we're doing their routine, and boom, on the floor they were. It was like,
right, and not on a crazy jump or anything.
No,
like that. Yeah,
nope.
And then the one other thing that's come out of this, and I get giggling about it, is have you watched the women throw the javelin yet?
I haven't.
If you look it up, they put the fucking Pirates of the Caribbean music to it.
Oh my god!
Because it looks like Johnny Depp going din, 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 and then they throw it. Because they do this weird thing, like they don't run up like the last time I've ever remembered them doing it. They would like kind of like jog up and then fire it.
Right.
They kind of go sideways and they kind of hop and then throw it. Oh my god, dude! People are putting, like I said, Pirates of the Caribbean music to it, and it's fucking hilarious.
I still think Lamar would win the gold.
Yes, he would. Yep.
Every time.
Yep.
One thing I did learn and I didn't know was it's not the lean that gets you the win. It's the foot that sets down first.
Yeah, well, if you look, his foot was down and his head.
And the Jamaican
his body
was pretty much over the line.
But his foot was up and his chest wasn't there either.
Right. His foot tapped right at the beginning of the finish line, and that's what got him the win. So I was like, all right, that's different things you don't know. Are you a Winter Olympic guy or a Summer Olympic guy?
Well, where did the wrestling go? Did they take that out of the Olympics?
I don't know.
Because that should be a summer
It's
sport.
not a winter game?
Why would it be a winter game?
It's indoors. I don't know.
I mean, it could be, but I thought like they were practiced for that now. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, man. The Summer Olympics, it's so close with them swimming and the running. They're so close. Like the drama's there for them sports.
I've always liked I think the draw for the Winter Olympics, especially in our lifetime, was figure skating with
figure skating,
hockey,
bobsledding.
Bobsledding's cool.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That stuff. And then who can forget curling?
I'll tell you what was
the Swiffers.
Watching fucking paint dry was surfing.
You know what else was? Fencing.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. I was
watching.
Like, no.
Dude, the guy got time. I almost like this. How is this fair? There's a clock set, and if you don't get a wave and ride the fucking wave, you lose your turn.
Right.
So the kid's sitting out there on his board, and shit is like calm.
Yeah.
Like that fucking sucks. And the next guy comes up and catches one, and he's
And the thing was, they did it in Tahiti.
Yeah.
It's the Paris Olympics, but you did the fucking in Tahiti.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand that.
It's weird. What else did I watch? The Wolf Pit. I've watched him time and time again. He's like the average Joe.
Yeah.
That reviews like the not so good foods, like frozen foods, like these off brands. His commentary's funny.
Yeah.
He's just like an average everyday guy, and the way he goes through it. His wife helps him out. You see her hand in there all the time doing shit. But I actually did like lesser known gravies. And I've never seen or I've seen it on menus, but I've never had red eye gravy, which is, I guess, made with coffee. And it's a big Southern staple.
Is it salty?
It is, because it's made with country ham. It's very salty.
Yeah. Hughes would ask that question. Yep, 100%.
The answer would be yes.
Yeah. Why you said average Joe, though, before you go on to your next one?
Yeah.
Did you see the thing where the Olympic swimmer went against like the average men swimmers that swim competitively?
No.
So,
it must not even be close.
It was only 50 meters. So one time down the pool.
Yeah.
And he gave him a 10-second start and won.
That's crazy.
Dude, it was the wildest thing. They're like, beep. It might have been 8 seconds. Beep. And the dude just doesn't go. And they're all in the water, swimming out of fucking frame. And the guys just stand there. And then you see him go at, like, I think maybe it was 8 seconds. And he launches. And then I'm like, is he going to get these guys? Because, you know, in the first little
Right.
bit, you don't know. But then he beat them all by like 2 body
He
lengths.
must look like fucking Flipper going through the pool
Yeah,
next to these
dude.
regular people.
But remember we said that on last week's
Yeah.
show. You put that just a regular guy in the 4th lane.
Right.
Or whatever. And did you happen to see the guy who he lost out on a gold medal in the pole vault because of his gigantic cock?
He
You didn't
lost
see-
out?
Yeah, he went over the thing and his dick hit the bar.
Oh, hit the
knocked it
bar.
off.
I did see it, yeah.
You lose a gold medal.
Great.
Yeah, but what's better?
Yeah, no.
What's better? You're
John-
25 years old?
John Holmes from the U.S.
Yeah, yeah. Any chick in the world's just now. I mean, you probably weren't getting the rub you were getting from
Right.
you know that by just winning a gold medal.
No, you're absolutely right. What was this? Will Liddix is another baseball video of how and why nobody will ever hit 400 again.
Oh yeah,
And it's true. If you break it down, it's a percentage point as to like how great somebody has to be at this point to get there. Because of specialized pitching, the ballparks, all the analytics that go into studying these batters.
well, same thing where like Rose's hit record. You got to have 200 hits for 20 years.
Right.
People don't play 20 years, and it's hard to get 200
Like
hits.
Luis Arias and Stephen Kwan, at the end of June, were still hovering in the 380 to 390 range. They're both down at like 330.
What's the highest finish in modern history?
394.
Which was who?
Gwynn in the strike shortened 94.
But that was August. That was like a whole nother 6
Right.
weeks to go.
And that was 394.
And wasn't
And Brett did 390 in 1980.
Dykstra was over 400 till he got hurt.
Yep, ended
at
up
1
at
year.
like 325.
Right.
Yep.
But he also had an injury.
Right.
But he was like, it's fucking June. I'm batting 412. You look at the scoreboard, and then he beat up the catcher at home plate.
Yep.
Yeah, it's tough. I know Jeter had like a 370 year, 363.
I think he had 360 something.
The year he got fucked for the MVP.
Right.
He should have been the MVP that year because
Right.
he would have been the regular season MVP, the World Series MVP, the All-Star MVP. That year he got fucked.
Yeah.
It's
But
tough, man.
They showed, like, they charted it, and they showed everybody who has been within like 50 points of it. And then all of a sudden, way at the fucking top is this little dot. That's Ted Williams.
At 408.
Yeah. It was like,
Yeah.
It's not even close. It's amazing. It's just things that we'll probably never see again in our lifetime.
Well, you could come out and go lefty-lefty.
Right.
You know, a free four pitch pass now. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't allow you to get percentage points on your average. You know, it just
Listen, Ted Williams never saw Oldest Chapman.
right. 105.
Dude, he went 101, 103, 103, 104, 105
105 at the knee.
at the knee. And Machado, Chapman stood there, and all of a sudden he smiled, and then Machado smiled back.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, like-
nothing. You are doing nothing.
No. You got to guess. You got to be perfect.
Right.
You got location and release.
Right. The kid that's closing for the Angels now, Ben Joyce, he was he got drafted out of Tennessee. He throws kind of like 3/4, and now he's closing for the Angels. He's throwing 106. Well, he hit 107.4.
Do you think that radar guns are juiced?
If they are,
I think they can do it with time. Don't you think?
If
they can do it with
it's
measurement?
minimal,
Do you know what I'm saying? Don't you think they can do it with measurement
yeah.
to get it more of a true? Because I think at one point, dude, in our time, we didn't see 93. But like you said, back in the day, they saw 79 was hard thrower.
Right.
So what has changed that you can throw a ball that much harder? I mean, back then, 79 was probably reasonable. They might have started out throwing 85 when they were young,
Right.
but there wasn't like relief pitchers like there is now. You were the pitcher.
Right. Listen, everybody, Doc Gooden and Clemens, when they were like the two best pitchers in baseball, were topping out at 94, 95.
Yeah. 92.
And that shit was like unhittable.
Yeah.
Now that's your average reliever. The average fastball speed in Major League Baseball right now is over 95 miles an hour. It's absurd.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. And then I would have a knuckleballer just because.
The kid from the Padres, Matt something or other, is a knuckleballer.
That's a wild last name, something or other. Huh?
Yeah,
Is
it's
that,
a long last
is that
name.
English? Or?
It curves over the jersey.
Yeah.
And Matt Waldron. And he's a knuckleballer, but he still has a 90-something-mile-an-hour fastball that he can throw.
Right. R.A. Dickey being one of the best
Right.
knuckleballers of recent times, Tim Wakefield.
Yep.
But can you imagine if you got a bunch of flamethrowers and then this guy comes in as a reliever, knuckleballing it?
Yeah.
And that's why, if you noticed a few times this year when position players came in to pitch, they throw 58, they're getting right out of innings.
Couldn't touch them.
Yeah.
Ground ball, rolling over on everything.
I'd almost pinch hit for my stars in those situations.
Right.
It doesn't make sense. Why fuck them up?
My favorite position player pitching, it was a couple years ago, D. Gordon came in against the Braves. And it was like 58 miles an hour, but he hit the guy. And the guy, he gets hit, and all of a sudden he goes, and he falls down in the box. The ump's laughing, the catcher's laughing.
Yeah.
The announcers are going fucking crazy. D. Gordon's going nuts on the mound. But yeah, it's shit that I never thought we'd see.
No, but they changed the game too.
The
game has changed since, like they've made it harder in the aspect that, you have range finders and putting people in positions and where you hit, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I think there's something wrong about that.
Yeah. I liked hunches.
Yeah. Yep.
That's what made managers.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And the only other thing I watched fail videos, which are awesome all the time.
Did you ever see a kid hit a fence or come off a bike?
Many times. My buddy sends it to me like every couple days in Instagram. And then the Hall of Fame speeches. Devin Hester had an amazing speech for his mom. Just saying how, basically my mom was there. My mom was there. When we didn't have anything, she supported, the whole thing.
Right.
It was very touching. And then I saw a really, really, really cool video, and I can't do nothing but smile about it, and I'll show it to you when we get off air. It's a mom from Texas teaching her son how to be a right tackle.
That's awesome.
And she's telling him, and I mean, she's in her work dress, just coming home. And she's like, his job, and she knows, like she's telling it like gospel. His job is to come around the end and seal off the edge and contain. Your job, what are you doing? I'm telling you what you're doing wrong already. Look at you. And she's standing up. She goes on the snap. You're here, boy. You're standing up. You can't be standing up. You got to put that foot out. And now we're driving him. So, and I mean, it is the most awesome, pure thing that there is.
That's
a mom comes home from work, kicks her shoes off. She's in her dress, and she's just showing her son how to be a right tackle.
That's awesome.
Now, if you're just listening to this or you don't know much about football,
right?
If you're a right tackle, you're a hefty fella.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's a hefty mom with her hefty son, but she teaches him, man. She's
cool.
Like, you got to put your foot in the ground. Now we're driving him. And she's got cones set up with a baseball bat on an angle. And is the most smart thing
to teach.
Because you want to stay outside this bat and get your feet working wide and your hands here.
Yep.
It was so awesome to see. It just made me really smile. Made me miss coaching is what it did, but it made me smile because we've had parents that had lawn chairs in their backyard showing their kids how to run the play.
Yep.
So it's awesome. And that's what I watched this week.
That's cool. I had something, but it totally escaped me because you captivated me with that. I will say, Hawk Tuah girl's kind of funny.
She is funny.
She was on, I think, Whitney Cummings' podcast.
Yep.
A lot of good things out of that. Matt Rife showed up on a phone call.
Andrew Dice Clay shit all over on Two Bears.
Did he?
He goes, "Oh, you're the Hawk Tuah girl." He goes, "Hey, honey, you think nobody spit on my dick before? Can you do it while you're standing over top of me and hit the tip perfectly?" He goes, "But she's got an avenue now." He's just saying, like, it's in today's society, you don't know what. Now she's got a platform, like a whole,
right?
But whatever. She does have a personality.
She said, "I'm a crack baby."
And then he goes, "Yeah, she ain't even that good looking. A little skinny blonde thing. She doesn't have any big fat pig tits." Typical Dice.
Fucking Dice.
Yeah, typical Dice.
Oh, that's great.
It was funny. So, yeah,
that is great.
You got anything else, man?
I'm just looking. I'm trying to think here. No, I mean, it'll come up off air, I'm sure, if I can think of it. But
all right, big fella, take us home.
All right. For GMAC, this is Winnie. This has been the Outlaws